In my 25 years of creating content and making YouTube videos, I've heard some absolutely outlandish car takes. A few of them are actually decent, but the other few make you want to rip your hair out and eat it. Well, today, I hope to get that reaction from at least a few of you, except without purposely doing it. I'm not going to be rage bait. In this video, I want to share some of my scorching hot takes that I 100% believe. By that, I mean I'm not going to be lying to purposely get you angry. I genuinely believe all these takes are true. We're gonna start with the cold take, a take that I feel like wouldn't get many people mad and clicking off the video, but it's still kind of controversial. And then we're gonna end with a take so hot that you might want to send a grenade to my mailbox or something. I don't know. Don't actually do that, please. But let's begin. Starting with the first take I believe many people agree with, but there's also that small amount of people that think it's straight delusion, is I genuinely believe that Ferrari is a greater brand than Lamborghini. Let me explain. Alright, I just thought of this analogy right now, and I'm sure it's gonna make a lot of sense for you guys. If Lamborghini was a person, who'd be the guy who peaked in high school? The guy who flexes a lot, the loud guy, the guy who remembers his glory days, you know, one of those people. I feel like Lamborghini is for the people who just want something for attention of others, if that makes any sense. Like, you want to promote your online course, you don't see them getting Ferraris. What do you see them getting? Lamborghinis. And I feel like Ferrari is the complete opposite of that. Ferrari is a gentleman's taste. Ferrari was a person who'd be that grown, casual business. Oh my god, that sounds like insane glaze, but you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. I feel like liking Ferrari is just maturing as a person. And no offense if you think this, but if you think Lamborghini is a better brand than Ferrari, you're most likely under the age of 13. Or 15, let me be nice. Don't even get me started on the other aspects, like how Ferrari has a way better racing heritage than Lamborghini. We're talking about the F1 dominance, the Le Mans wins, and it just goes on and on and on. Lamborghini literally has zero racing credibility. And here, this is one thing. You would never hop into a Ferrari and think, wow, I'm sitting in an Audi. You know, Ferrari has that unique, timeless design, inside and out, but Lamborghinis feel kind of rushed. I mean, that's not their fault. They are shared by the same parent company, but that just adds to it. I feel like Lamborghini is a downgrade from Ferrari in every single way. And then you have the people who take the bus to school talking about, well, if I get a Ferrari, I can't mod it because they're going to sue me. Ferrari doesn't know you. If you go ahead and mod your Ferrari, if you can afford it, they don't care. If you notice, the people that Ferrari actually sued have done some outlandish over-the-top thing to their car. No, you're not gonna get sued by Ferrari for putting an exhaust on your car, but if you go ahead and do this to your car, it makes complete sense. Why would you massacre such a masterpiece like this? What was he thinking? In fact, I didn't think Ferrari went hard enough. If I put my blood, sweat, and tears into a car like this, and then somebody buys it and does this to it, send him to Mars. Get him out of here. Nah, but for real though, I see no reason to be messing with perfection in any ways. A Ferrari stock is one of the greatest looking cars ever made, and it's one of the only few brands that have literally made zero ugly cars. You watching this right now, go in the comments and tell me one single ugly Ferrari, and don't say the California. That car is beautiful, but I'd be waiting. As you're doing that, let's move up to 40% on the hot take list. A take that I feel like most of you watching this would disagree on, but not enough to click off the video, you know? Not enough to rip your hair out just quite yet. And that take is neutral colors should absolutely never be on sports cars. I don't care what the reason is. When I think of someone getting black or gray on a sports car, think of it like this, right? You work out every day for the last 10 years. You're jacked. I'm talking jacked. You're shredded. You're ripped. You're everything you could possibly be. You're 6'4", 215 pounds, shredded, 10% body fat. But then you go to the beach and wear a hoodie and sweatpants. What the f? Why would you do that? Why are you trying to mask your hard work, you know? That's literally how people sound when they say, I got this color to blend in. Why do you want to blend in? You bought a $90,000 car and you want to blend in? What is the point? I don't know. This take might be 100% biased because my sports car is a bright color and I genuinely would not want it any other way. I can imagine getting such a car that's as loud as that, that's as low as that, looks as good as that, and then blending in. What is the point of that? I don't get it. That's what my Honda is for. Yes, that is news to most of you guys. I got a new car, a Honda Accord. It's actually nice, and it's next to the Corvette key. See, that's the best of both worlds. If I ever want to blend in, save gas, cruise, commute, just chill, I'll take the Honda Accord. But why would I do the same thing on my Corvette? Why would I want to blend in a bright yellow Corvette and a sports car in general? You know, it makes no sense. Here, do this if you don't believe me. This is even going past the sports car thing. After this video, I want you guys to go outside, go for a drive, go for a bicycle ride, go for a walk for 30 minutes and count how many colors you see on the road. Don't count gray, white, or black. I promise you, you're gonna come home with like 5 colors. No more than that. You know how boring it is looking at the street and every single car is the same color? At least be one of the few people that stand out. If you have the money to buy a nice sports car, get it a nice color. Simple.
Meanwhile.
As many of you know, I just picked up a new car. And one thing about me, I love to keep all my cars secure. Doesn't matter if it's the Corvette or if it's the Honda Accord. I love to keep it secure. Especially in a state like California where everybody is a terrible driver, you just have to take those safety precautions. But luckily we have Redtiger here to help us. So we're going to be installing this dash cam on our new car. All right, me and my buddy just finished installing the front and the rear dash cam, and it was pretty straightforward. The box came with a hardwire kit and the proper tools that made our lives much easier than when we installed previous dash cams. But let's talk about what truly makes the Redtiger F77 so special. This dash cam you're looking at right now is the first ever 4K dash cam. So that means you get a dash cam that records in 4K 30 FPS in the front and 4K 30 FPS in the rear as well. And that's just crazy to me how that's even possible. Another thing I don't understand how it's possible is the fact that it comes with inbuilt storage, so you don't need a memory card. And we're talking 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. And an underrated feature about this dash cam that many others just don't come with is the fact that it's actually a touchscreen. So you can switch through multiple different angles all from your fingertips without having to go on the app or anything else. You can activate voice control, you can turn on Wi-Fi mode. It just does a whole bunch of stuff with the touchscreen. And speaking of Wi-Fi, this comes standard with 5.8 Gs, which makes transferring your clips so much faster and easier than ever before. This feature is probably my favorite of them all because look at the attention to detail when you zoom in. Makes it extremely easy to get license plates and road signs in case of any emergencies. So go ahead and get you the best dash cam money can buy. Click the first link in my description to get yourself a nice deal. Next though, we're gonna move on to 65% on the hot meter. We're not quite to the top yet, but we're actually getting scorching hot at this point. This is one I believe genuinely most of you would hate me for. And a lot of you guys will try to argue it. But I genuinely believe that the LaFerrari is single-handedly the greatest production car ever created. No competition. It was peak of the Holy Trinity. When the LaFerrari dropped and people heard what it was capable of doing, everybody's minds were blown because how can such a thing happen? And by the way, Lamborghini would never make a car that's even 50% of the LaFerrari, just to throw that out there. But let's sit down and actually talk about it. Let's think about it because most of you don't realize how crazy the LaFerrari is. We're talking a car that was made 12 years ago. Stay with me now. Is better than 95% of cars coming out today and every car that came out in the past 12 years and the years before it. I will die on this hill. Hold on. You guys think I'm joking? I am not rage baiting. I genuinely believe this car is insane. But think about it. We have a car that's literally the best of both worlds. On one side, it's a V12, a naturally aspirated screaming V12. On the other side, we have hybrid assist, so you still have all the perks of electric without going full electric. And it sounds like this. Yes, I kid you not, this car is no joke. I'm not glazing, it's true. The closest thing we have to it is maybe the Revuelto, only because of the V12 and the hybrid system. But the Revuelto doesn't look this good. And it wasn't made 12 years ago. And it being made in like 2013, I feel like it was the perfect time. It's in the middle of futuristic enough and also analog. We're not talking about 9 screens in the interior like it's a Mercedes. And we're also not talking about an interior as buns as a Dodge Viper. Hey, if I was wrong, at least the value wouldn't reflect it. But there's a reason why it's the most valuable of the 3 in the Holy Trinity. Don't argue with me, argue with the facts. It's the better car. But if you somehow made it this far without clicking off the video in pure disgust, I want to know your hot take. Go in the comments right now and let me know a take that you think would make me genuinely mad. I would reply to the ones that make me mad. Trust. Make it as hot as possible, but don't rage bait. Be actually honest with yourself. But now we're moving on to 85%. A take that I feel like pretty much everybody watching this would disagree on. But that's fine, because I don't care. But that take is, I genuinely believe sedans are better than coupes. I'm specifically referring to if the car has both versions. For instance, the Dodge Challenger and the Dodge Charger, the BMW M3 and the BMW M4, the BMW M8 Competition and the M8 Competition Grand Coupe. 10 out of 10 times, the sedan is the better car than the coupe. Why would you get the exact same car but with less doors? And then you have people saying it's a weight saving thing, it's a this and that, or it's to track the car better. Brother, who gets a Dodge Challenger or a BMW M4 or a BMW M8 to track the car and save weight? I feel like if you're getting these cars, you might as well go all out. Yeah, you can argue looks, but I genuinely still believe the sedan versions always look better than the coupe version. The Dodge is debatable because they're completely different body styles, but when it comes to the M4, the M3, and the M8, the sedans look better. Why would you take the exact same car with 2 less doors and less practicality? It makes no sense to me. I never understood why they even made them. Well, they make them because people buy them. Why do people buy them? Someone help me understand this because it's genuinely not clicking in my brain. I don't get it at all. And then most of these cars, the body lines just flow so much better with 4 doors. Like look at the side profile of this compared to this, and tell me anyone in their right mind would actually prefer the coupe version. It makes no sense to me. But again, remember, it would not be a hot take if everybody agreed. So before you dislike this video, remember what the topic is. That's funny. But you know what's not so funny? 100% of my hot take. The take I believe nobody watching this would agree with. Literally 0% of you guys watching this would agree with this take. But that's fine because it's 100%. That take is manual transmissions are overrated. Yes, I 100% believe that manual transmissions aren't as good as everybody makes it to be. Manual transmissions literally have one thing, only one singular thing over automatic transmission, and that's the fact it's more engaging. That's it, nothing else. You can't name me anything else manual transmission is better for than an automatic. Now, I'm not saying it's better than an automatic or it's worse than an automatic. I just think it's overrated. It's not a bad transmission. Obviously, manual transmissions are great, they're insane, but people glaze it simply because they want that nostalgic feeling, you know? The fact that the best cars in the world at the moment are automatic, people say manual transmissions, they put it on this pedestal just to have that nostalgic bias, if that makes any sense. Don't get me wrong, they're extremely fun. I would get a manual 10 out of 10 times if the car was in my daily driver, you know? Like now that I actually have a Honda Accord and not dealing the Corvette anymore, I'm considering trading in for a manual Z06. I'm not even joking. But the way people glaze it, oh my, it needs to stop. Oh my, everywhere I go, if I was to ever post my Corvette top 5 comments, it's not a manual transmission, you didn't do this, a manual transmission is 10 times better, manual transmission, like why? The glaze needs to stop. It's a good transmission, but let's stop overrating it. It's not something that automatically makes the car 50 times better. Because no, that's literally not true. We have to talk about every other aspect, like the fact how a manual transmission is significantly less reliable than an automatic transmission. We're talking clutch work, we're talking the transmission itself. There's so much more stuff that could go wrong. And if manuals were truly better, the best cars in the world would be manual transmission, but they're not. And this is the hard truth. Most people who are driving stick today, most people, I'm not saying everybody, but most people aren't doing it to feel connected. That's what people say they're doing. They're just gatekeeping nostalgia. And honestly, I'm the one who's gonna call it out because many people don't see through it, but I do. Anyways, if you somehow made it to the end of this video without clicking off, props to you, because even making this video, I can just feel how mad most of you are from like through the camera screen right now. Jesus Christ, relax. It's just a video of my takes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Take care. Hopefully you're not too mad. Go cool off.